Welcome to the Webb Report. My name is Stuart Webb. It's been a while since I've recorded some of my thoughts, and a lot's been going on in my life, but I'm kind of forcing myself to record these thoughts and write down things that come to my mind. So what I wanted to talk about today was the difference between communism and the law of consecration. So in my religion, we believe in a doctrine called the law of consecration, where you dedicate your time, energy, and talents and all that you have to God. And you do that with other people. You all choose to do it. And that is the distinct difference between the law of consecration and what we have here in this fallen world, which is communism or socialism, which is just a degree of communism. And what that is essentially Satan's perversion of the law of consecration. The key difference between these two things is that one is voluntary and one is not. One is done by force, oftentimes with the force of law or government. And this is wrong. It goes against natural law. It violates natural rights. And that's why we should be against communism. And there's an important difference. The important difference is choice, right? So in the law of consecration, if people want to get together and dedicate their time, energy, and talents to a cause, and they do it voluntarily but united in unison, right, one in purpose, that is correct. It's when you go outside of the bounds of the Lord, outside of natural law, you disrespect natural law and natural rights of people, where you begin to use the force of government or unrighteous dominion and violate others' rights. So the word welfare has been highly perverted. It's voluntary welfare is charity. It is giving of your time, energy, and talents for free by your own free will and choice to help others. And in communism, which is what we have now, a degree of communism, yes, even in the land of the free here in the United States, we are living under a form of communism where we are forced to give, right? We are forced to contribute to welfare, but it's forced, right? And because it's forced, a lot of other terrible things come with that. The welfare is diluted, polluted, and perverted. So when it's stolen from you, because when it's forced welfare, it's stolen from people and given to someone else, or taken for themselves, the people that steal it. So it violates a natural right. So forced welfare violates natural rights, which is wrong. So it's very difficult for when you're violating natural rights to then, in the name of helping others, right, for that to actually go to a good cause, for the cause to actually be carried out. That is very difficult, okay? It's very hard to put a gun to someone's head or the threat of violence or force or the threat of jail time, but say that you're doing it for a just purpose. This at its core, we all know to be wrong. Okay, it is not just to steal from someone and in the name of helping other people. It just isn't. It violates a very basic natural right. So I really think we as a society need to get back to the principle of voluntary charity and avoid this forced, unjust, perverted version of charity and welfare. It's forced charity, it's forced welfare, and that it violates natural law. And we have to avoid that. We have to get away from that. But the law of consecration is done by your own free will and choice, right? So I'll take, I coach boxing. I train people to box and to fight, actually. And almost pretty much exclusively, I donate my time, my energy and talents to giving people training. And for me, that is the least that I can do to show the Lord that I am willing to live a portion of the law of consecration, because to me, that it's by my own free will and choice, and it is voluntary welfare and voluntary charity that I am giving, and I love it. Unfortunately, we live in a society where we still have to work for currency, for payment of some sort, because we live in Babylon and we are in the chain. We are still enslaved by Babylon, so we have to live, within Babylon's rules. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between, what basically freedom versus slavery, right? And it all has to do with choice, right? There is good welfare and bad welfare. There's forced welfare and voluntary welfare, which is correct. So we need to, a big problem today in society is that language has been perverted, and the breakdown of common understanding and common language between societies and people in various nations has really perverted our understanding of things. So that's why it's really easy for politicians to say things like democracy, and then we all think that we live in a democracy. Well, we live in a democratic republic. Not a democracy. A democracy is just, whoever votes, the majority rules, essentially. If you have a majority that vote a certain way on any topic, any subject, that's what we're made to believe, then that becomes law. Well, in a republic, there are certain, especially in our constitutional republic, there are certain things that you cannot vote to get rid of. Like, you cannot vote lawfully to get rid of my freedom of speech, my ability to say this right now. You cannot, because freedom of speech is a natural right that was given to me by my Creator. And so what our politicians have perverted our understanding, and by repetition have perverted our understanding of what type of system of government we live under. They think, or they've brainwashed us so that we believe that, if we want to just get rid of somebody's speech, we just vote to get rid of it. Well, unfortunately, freedom of conscience and speech is protected by your natural right. It supersedes any type of government. It is a divine natural right that we all are endowed with. So it's unfortunate, but we need to do our best to gain understanding of what things mean, and we also need to have common understanding within society when we talk to each other. Like, if we say, we should all have an understanding of what the definition of a woman is, right? A definition of a woman cannot be whoever identifies as a woman, or whatever identifies as a woman is a woman. That doesn't explain, that doesn't define woman. And ironically, that seems to be the only word in the English language that is coming under scrutiny as to what the meaning of it is. Like the definition of a cat or an animal, let's say the definition of a cat cannot be whatever identifies as a cat. That cannot be the definition, because you're using the word. You're not explaining what the word means. You're using the word in the definition. And if you don't know what that word is defined as or what it means, then you cannot use it in the definition. It doesn't make sense. It's on its face. It's incoherent. So language is very important, and concepts are very important to understand, like just like, the difference between what democracy is and a democratic republic or a constitutional republic and things like that. We need to be clearer about our language, and because we can't use those things interchangeably because they're not the same. So anyway, that's all I have right now on that topic. Communism is bad and it's wrong, and it violates natural law and natural rights, and the law of consecration is the correct version of what communism attempts to be. The law of consecration is a very it's one of the highest laws, and part of the reason why it is because it's done voluntarily, with pure intent of heart. And it's, if it's not done by your own free will and choice, then it's hard to be judged if you don't have a choice, right? If I don't have a choice in something that I've been forced to do, then how can I really be judged justly for what I do? We have to be accountable for our actions, and that's why we're here. We're here to be tested and tried, and we need to live in conditions where natural law is respected and the natural rights of others is respected, so that we truly can be held accountable and we can truly do things by our own free will and choice. So I could ramble on and on about these things, but I appreciate you listening, and hope you have a good day. Bye.